All right, so let's move on to the new VTI we recently added. Just to set the stage a little bit background information on this. Our labs team has been looking into the behaviors, especially used by the CryptBot stealer. And one thing spotted, it checks the CPU name to see if it is running on a Xeon system. So kind of an evasion trick to figure out if it is in a sandbox or a real machine. At the time, we didn't have a VTI that would highlight this behavior. So now we do. We added this new VTI. And also, the CryptBot doesn't just check the CPU name. It actually queries the exact megahertz value, frequency value the CPU is running at. And another layer of, kind of discovery stage. So these are behaviors we are now detecting and tied to the, again, MITRE ATT&CK, to the discovery category. And with that, actually, I will bring Patrick in for a quick comment, maybe. We already have a bunch of VTIs that look at anti-sandbox behaviors, Patrick, but you can see there is still room for more of these small checks, I think. And when you see a VTI score like 1 out of 5, it's not always something crazy suspicious, I suppose. And yeah, and anything you would add here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we basically have those VTIs from score starting with 1 going up to 5, whereas 1 is the lowest score and 5 is the highest score. And those lower score VTIs, we basically just call informative VTIs that are intended to further enrich the analysis report that we have. The idea behind it is basically we really want to just highlight and show the whole behavior, or at least the whole relevant behavior that a sample is doing during its execution. And I mean, checking for hardware properties, like in this case, CPU model, CPU clock speed, maybe even memory or whatever, isn't something that is uncommon. We do actually see this in malicious files, but we also can see this in legitimate files. I mean, considering there's an installer basically that maybe requires specific hardware, it maybe requires a graphics card or anything like that. Those installers usually also have to check whether they are compatible with the system that you try to execute them on. But of course, in case of malicious files, usually this is a good indicator that there might be something going on, that they may be trying to figure out whether we are running in a virtualized environment or in a sandbox, as you already mentioned before. Just to maybe hide the behavior, stop, pause, doing nothing, basically to stay under the radar. And we basically added this lower scoring VTI in that case to give you more context whenever you see we analyze a sample and you see this VTI, that maybe there is something going on in the background that you maybe don't have on your mind, basically, or just to further enrich the analysis report that there is something being checked in the background.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, when you have more this kind of informational VTIs lined up, probably that would be, again, raise some eyebrows,
Yes,
right?
yes, there is a specific logic behind it as well. The more discovery VTIs we see in the background, of course, specific ones, the higher the score of the sample also gets. I mean, if there is only the CPU properties being queried, that's of course interesting to know, but maybe not that scary. But if there is the whole range of system properties being queried, then of course it maybe has to ring your alarm bells already that something is going to be strange there.